Ready? Shalom, we out here once again. Giving my praises to
Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakodash.
Yo, this keeps happening, man. The arm is twisted. But anyway, it's the end of the world. We're coming to the last days of America. I say it like that because every time I turn on to YouTube, there's always something about this going on in Iran, that going on in Israel. The U.S. did this, Iran did that. So it's like when they get hit, they hit back. So it's like a back and forth. But really, from what I understand, Iran is winning. They're winning. This has been a hot topic the last 2 weeks, right? So we'll see how long this keeps up.
I'm going to start at the top and read fast. This is in the Good News translation.
Hold the camera.
It said, but these are the signs. The time will come when all people on earth will be in the grip of great confusion.
The grip of great confusion. Because, believe it or not, you have some people that believe that the U.S. will come out victorious in this war. You know what I'm saying? Or they think that this is just like the Iraq war. Remember when they invaded Iraq? And can you really say that the U.S. came out on top of that? I mean, yes and no. But messing with Iran is different, man. Like, you're messing with a country that got a nuclear arsenal. They have access to oil, which oil is a world commodity. So when Iran shuts off their oil to the rest of the world, then that makes the price of oil jump up throughout the entire world. So that's why the price of gas is going up, and food is gonna go up too. Because how is food transported? It's transported through trucks, diesel engine trucks. And I heard the price of diesel is like $10 a gallon or something like that now.
I saw 5.
Really?
Over here.
I think it might have been 7. I seen.
Yeah, it depends on
Yeah,
state to
7.
state.
Yeah, 7.
Around my way, I see 5.
I'm saying diesel.
Yeah, like so.
Get that? That's a semi-catch.
As long as the war keeps going on, the longer it goes on, the higher the price is gonna get.
Yeah, basically. So imagine a world where the cost of energy goes up, the utilities go up, and the people are barely making it as it is. Then what?
The time will come when all people on earth will be in the grip of great confusion, because this war, it affects everybody one way or another. Whether it be, because gas, somebody has to fuel up the trucks that's moving around the goods to put in the grocery stores, the clothing stores, what have you. You need oil to function. And as the price of oil goes up, the price of the goods are gonna go up. But ain't nobody getting a fucking raise. So now the squeeze is on. I had a half a tank yesterday. Half a tank. And then I went to go fill up the tank. It was $40 to fill up half a tank. I'm like, yeah, this is it.
I haven't been to the gas station in a week or so.
$40 to fill up half a tank. I mean, $40 to $50 will fill my tank up. Now just to put up, and yeah, I do gotta get 93. I preface it by saying that I have to put 93 in the car. But still, $40 for just a half a tank.
Man, I remember them days when $20 used to get you
Right.
half a tank.
Right.
Used to be living.
That shit used to last 2 weeks.
Yep.
Now this gas will last you a week, if that. Again, it's like I just 5.
So I feel bad for the newer generation, that 16, 17-year-old that's just starting out getting their first car. Maybe getting their first job, if they can even find one in this economy. Like, it's just harder to navigate in this world and establish yourself. So this is the era that we living in. What can I say?
Again, it's like I just 5 and 1 in the Good News translation. It says, but these are the signs. The time will come when all people on earth will be in the grip of great confusion. The way of truth will be hidden, and no wickedness will increase until it has become worse than you have ever known it to be.
Wickedness shall increase. And just think, you gotta wonder, like, how bad is the information in the files if Trump is willing to go to war with Israel and blow up the whole world? And not the whole world, but set off nukes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta wonder, how bad is it? Because remember when Musk said, "Oh, newsflash, Trump is in the files." Y'all didn't know that. Remember when he revealed that? And then they was like, yeah. They was trying to downplay the files at first. Like, oh, there's nothing in there. Oh, it's really nothing. And then it's like, oh, well, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to bring anybody down. Remember when Trump was making excuses? First he was saying he's going to release him. Now he's saying he's not going to release him. Now they are releasing them little by little. And you finding out all the heinous information that's in there. So again, you got to wonder, like, what's in them files that's that bad that you're willing to side with Israel and go to war, which is going to lead to World War III. And remember when Trump said, "Oh, I don't think I'm going to make it to heaven." How are you supposed to be the so-called leader of the free world? You're the one who's saying, "Oh, you're not going to make it to heaven." Shouldn't you strive for that, hypothetically speaking? So you got to wonder, like, how bad of a person this man is. He's supposed to be the president. That's how you talk?
He's just taking marching orders, He's not commanding anything of his own will. He's being told what to do. And he knows what he's being told to do isn't right. But what is he going to do?
Yeah, of course he's being told what to do. Because it makes no sense being dragged into that war. But according to prophecy, that's how it's supposed to go down. When you read Jeremiah 49 and 20. We could read that after we finish that.
It says, wickedness will increase until it has become worse than you have ever known it to be. The country that you now see ruling the world will lie in ruins, with no inhabitant or traveler there. It says, after that, if God Most High lets you live long enough, you will see that country in confusion. The sun will suddenly start shining at night in the daytime. Blood will drip from trees, stones will speak, nations will be in confusion, the movement of the stars will be changed. A king unwanted by anyone will begin to rule, and the birds will fly away. Fish will be washed up on the shores of the Dead Sea. The voice of one whom many do not know will be heard at night. Everyone will hear it. The earth will break open in many places and begin spouting out flames. Wild animals will leave the fields and forests. At their monthly periods, women will bear monsters. Fresh water will become salty. Friends everywhere will attack one another.
Yeah, so that's going into how the world is going to go into turmoil, as the days prolong. And then especially, as we enter into, like, the last of the last days, it's only going to get worse.
It says, then understanding will disappear and reason will go into hiding. And they will not be found, even though many may look for them. Everywhere on earth, wickedness and violence will increase. One country will ask a neighboring country if justice or anyone who does right has come that way, but the answer will always be no. Last verse. It says, at that time people will hope for much, but will get nothing. They will work hard, but will never succeed at anything. And that's where we are now. People working hard, you work 2-3 jobs, but you got nothing to show for it. You can't afford the quote-unquote American dream. You're working so hard just to keep what little you have. You're not forwarding in anything. You just getting by. But that's because the top wicked elite, the people that rule, that actually rule, that you don't see, this is how they want it. So they can introduce their New World Order. Introduce the MOTB.
Yeah, because the party's over, man. Like, the American dream, it don't even exist. Them days where you thought you can get a White House, picket fence, buy you some property, some lands,
Long.
start a family.
Long. not coming back. That's what
Sustain a
people are
family.
hoping for. They're hoping for things to go back to normal. But this is the new normal.
Let me tell you something. Y'all people, y'all Americans, y'all Babylonians, just live it up.
Okay?
Just live it up. That's all I can really tell you. Or repent. Better yet, repent if you're an Israelite. Get right. Jeremiah 49:20. You got it.
This is Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. It says, "Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes, that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman."
Edom is the Caucasian man. And Teman, that's also a representation of Esau, Edom. Temanites were renowned for how smart they were. You know, that's them German scientists. You know, they're the ones who even created those ICBM missiles, hypersonic missiles, or the atom bomb. You know, they showed you that in that movie. What's the name of that movie? Oppenheimer. I never seen it, but I heard about it. I seen the trailer. You seen that movie?
Yeah,
Of course you did. I wasn't.
it's good. Long. It says, "Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out."
The least of the flock is talking about the small heads. Because how are they the least common denominator of people on earth, yet they have really all the power?
It says, "Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them."
So the land over there, Israel, is going to be wiped out. It's going to be destroyed. It's going to have to be cleaned up.
Because the earth is moved at the noise of their fall, at the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea.
Because this is the start of the ending. World War III is going to begin in the Middle East. From the Red Sea to the Persian Gulf. That's where it's going to kick off. It's going to kick off within that region.
It says, "Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle, and spread his wings over Basra. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs."
Because eventually the destruction and judgment is going to make its way over here to America. That's what this is. That's what we're witnessing. That's what this is. Like, the U.S. is really getting dragged into this war, and they just deployed like I think it was like 1,500 troops or something like that. I forget. Let me see if I can find the article.
That was it on that.
Yeah, that's the point. I got an article. This is from USA Today. U.S. strikes Iran oil facility as Trump says war ends when I feel it in my bones. Yeah, okay. The United States is sending 2,500 strong Marine expeditionary force to the Middle East, a U.S. official said, as President Donald Trump declared he would end the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran when I feel it in my bones. Hours later, the president said the U.S. military forces had struck Karg Island, an Iranian island in the Persian Gulf that possesses the majority of the country's oil exports. So again, that's going to drive up the price of oil. Furthermore, it shows how prideful Trump is. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's so content on what he has to do with backing up Israel that he's willing to deploy over 2,500 Marines. Whether or not that's going to lead to the end of the war, I mean, I doubt it.
said what everybody was thinking, because Trump is forcing America into World War III. For what? And that's the question that everybody has. Like, what benefit does America have fighting for those people over there? But it's ultimately, it's the will of the Lord. It's prophecy.
Facts.
This is Proverbs 21:1. It says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will." That's the Lord. You see, that's the Lord. The Lord is just using Trump as a vessel to fulfill his will. That's all that's going on. Even if Trump didn't want to do it, he can't help but to do it. He might not even know why he's doing what he's doing, but that's because it's the will of the Lord. It has to get done.
If it falls again, I'm gonna kick it. I'm gonna have to catch it. Yeah, it's windy today, man.
Let's go to Isaiah 24. I'll read the 8th verse. It's Isaiah 24:8. It says, "The mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with the song, strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down, every house is shut up, that no man may come in." That city of confusion is talking about America.
Yup.
Babylon the Great. It says, "There is a crying for wine in the streets."
Because wine represents philosophies, so people are gonna be looking for answers in that day.
There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone.
Yeah, the mirth represents the entertainment. Because nothing really feels the same anymore. Here it is, you got NBA players making the most money ever now. Yet they're saying that the ratings aren't that high. Or, people saying that it just doesn't have the same nostalgia. It's not the same feeling. That's just one example. Another example is the music. The music industry.
Yeah, music is trash. That's because people are so occupied with themselves and having to provide for themselves. The average person, they work pretty hard. You really have time for yourself anymore in this system. Here it is, like you got people work 7 days a week because they work 2 jobs. There is no weekend break for them. You see? Because why? The price, I don't even call it the cost of living. The cost of existing is just too damn high.
I know this chick that worked 2 full-time jobs. She'll have her night shift, and then she'll go to her day job.
It's like that's really how people are living, just sustain what they have. It's not even like they're trying to do that to get ahead. They're just trying to sustain what it is they already had.
Yeah, and she was doing that because she wanted to buy a house. She ended up buying a house. So now you really need that other job bad now.
That's crazy.
And she liked to go on vacation.
See it? Look what people got to do to try and get a house. Work 2 full-time jobs. Now that's just your life forever.
That's why you gotta consolidate your life in this day and age. Like, simplify your life. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to go for it all. Have that nice big ass house or that job, which is gonna probably lay you off for the next coming months anyway. And then you had to amass a ridiculous amount of debt just so you can get your degree just so you can get that job. But you know, the direction that we're headed with AI, there's really not going to be many jobs left in the market. Like, think about it.
Right.
You're not going to need people.
I was talking to a student, he was in college. He's like, yeah, all the entry level jobs, they're all getting taken by AI. It's hard to find the entry level jobs.
They've been collecting data. AI's been collecting data off people for the last maybe year or two. It really seems like it's been advancing. It's been advancing. But yeah, AI's been collecting data off people, using people to get smarter and better so that you can be replaced. So if you want to go out on a whim and take out a student loan just so that you can get a job working for some white man's corporation, that's you. That's on you. That's your prerogative.
Isaiah 24:11.
Black men never really had no place in white corporate America anyway. And they really only let Eve in there because they wanted to look at them and fuck with them and pay them a little. You know, black women, they might be the most educated, but they don't make the most money.
They don't know how to, work with their money.
These companies, they'll hire a white woman, pay her more, they'll hire a black woman, and they pay her less. That's facts.
Black women, they be reckless with their money.
Yeah, that's why they need a man to keep them in check. Because, men are naturally, better savers. They're more like,
So Isaiah 24:11 again. It says, there is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened, the mirth of the land is gone. And the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done.
Vintage represents the food. So eventually, at some point, the food is going to dry up. You're not going to have access to food. It's going to be a famine. And who's to say that this isn't going to start because of the war? Because the price of everything is about to go up.
Everything.
Remember that video I sent you? Dude was talking about, this keeps up, in theory, like, people are going to be going to work, and they're not even going to really be, like, making any money, because all your money is going to be going towards your economic fuel, and, buying food, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine that, you going to work, and it's like, you're going negative.
You know what I'm saying?
Your check is already spent before you got it.
Right. You going to work to break even.
That's when motherfuckers is going to be outside, rioting, protesting. People are gonna wind up homeless. I mean, just think. Imagine your energy bill is so high, you gotta make a decision. Food or lights? Lights or clothes? Lights or water? You need water. You go 3 days without water, you die. I mean, you can go a few days, a few weeks without food. Imagine you start having to make them hard decisions.
Right.
Do you want lights or do you want heat? Oh, it's December, you think you gotta have heat. That's why the scriptures say, pray that your flight be not in winter. Even though that has to do with 70 AD, the same applies to today. You know what I'm saying? Because imagine Jacob's trouble pops off. It's gonna be harder for us to manage in the middle of winter. You seen how this winter was.
Yeah, right.
It was intense.
Back to back snow.
Motherfuckers is talking about it's gonna be another draft. I mean, we've been talking about that. Remember, I don't know if you remember, I don't even know if you heard, but Trump said that, as of now, there's no draft talks on the table. Now they're talking about a draft. You know what I'm saying? I remember previously, it's like a few months ago, maybe last year, maybe, they passed a bill saying that instead of you having to like go to the post office and physically somehow register yourself to social service, they automatically register people into social service now. So if you get that letter in the mail to get drafted, you're gonna go. If you're within that age range. I think it's from like 18 to like what, 25 or 26. That ain't nothing. You know they're gonna raise it if they need more numbers.
bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment. And that goes into rationing. Like, let's say like the gas prices get so high and there's like a lack of it. Like, they're gonna have to start rationing everything: gas, food, all these kind of things. Imagine you go into the tank and you can only get a certain amount of gas at a time, or on a specific day. Or you go to the grocery store, it's like, all right, there's only a limit of 2 per person, or 1 per person. That's where we're headed.
All you can afford is 3 gallons. But where is that gonna get you? 3 gallons?
Right. Especially you got a job and all of this shit they go to, that'll be gone.
You might be popped.
Be gone before you know it.
You might be popped. You don't really got money for gas like that at that point.
Right. It says that they may want bread and water and be astonished one with another and consume away for their iniquity. That's it. Malachi chapter 3, verse 5.
You still got them hot pockets? You still got them hot pockets to warm your hands?
No. Actually, no, I don't think so.
Remember we was using those last winter? I mean, we practically took this winter off. We had no choice. But remember that when we was using them?
Yeah. The thing is, they go bad. They expire.
Yeah.
This is Malachi 3 and 5. And it says, and I will come near to you to judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the adulterers, and against the false swearers, and against those that oppress the hireling in his wages, the widow, and the fatherless, and that turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me, saith the Lord.
Yeah, because the Lord is going to make things right. You know, we live in an evil society that exploits people. You know what I'm saying? You know what the status quo has always been. You're supposed to get a job, work for somebody. Maybe you'll have enough to retire. But it's like, what's the point of all this now? Your 401k is dwindling. It's hard to save. You could barely afford to live.
It's getting so bad. You guys, people don't be dipping into their 401ks, That money that was supposed to be put up and stored away for your age of retirement, you're going to have to dip in that to sustain yourself, to keep yourself afloat.
Don't let you be in a state that's red or poor. You can't rely on welfare so much now. They cut Medicaid. You got less access to free healthcare. They're cutting that program that gives you free housing. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the way things is going, it's just looking bad. It's looking bad. You let this stuff go on, or you let everything go on for another 2 or 3 years. I don't even want to know how it's gonna be looking. Hopefully we don't go that far.
If you're not occupied in this faith and in this truth, and putting all your faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. It just gets worse and worse and worse, to the point where you have literally nothing. At least here, when you have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you got something to live for. The times that we're entering into, this world is entering into, you literally have nothing to live for.
Yeah, all we got is the truth. That's all we need.
Like, what is it that's going to sustain you? What is going to be that motivating factor for you?
motivating factor now? Is it getting that job? 'Cause you may be thinking about like that when you're young. You know what I'm saying? You want to sustain yourself, get your own place. But we really need to like raise our level of conversation. Because how is the height of your life getting a so-called dream job or going on vacation for 2 weeks out the year? That's as good as it gets.
Hey, the bar is real low here in America. See, at one point the bar was the White House, picket fence, children, family vacation every year. That seems like unattainable now. That was the bar at one point in time when America actually had industry. And it was easy to get a well-paying job with some benefits. That's not the case anymore.
I heard it's hard finding a job, man.
It's one that you would want.
Yeah, you said one that you would want. You know, now there's no generation. They're not taking just any old job. Nobody wants a slave for minimum wage anymore. What's the point?
For what? You can't do nothing with this. Here you are, you slaving and busting your ass for what?
You're miserable. You're depressed.
For what, $500 a week?
Your back hurts.
Fuck's somebody supposed to do with that? You're paying a grown adult with responsibilities and shit $500 a week. That ain't shit.
Living bad. You know, that's the average person in America. A lot of people, they come here from other countries, so they don't mind slaving their life away. I was talking to this 10 tribes dude. He's like, yeah, I'm looking for a job. He's like, yeah. He said, I know my cousin, he works for this company. He's like, my cousin loves to work. I looked at her, I started laughing. I was like, what? Your cousin loves to work? I'm like, that's 10 tribes for you, working like a Mexican. That is one of the traits, though, of a Mexican. If he was even Mexican, I doubt. But, you know, close in it. Oh, they out here. You said they out here.
This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book.
Yeah, because Michael the Archangel, when Yahushua comes back, Michael the Archangel is gonna be fighting him. He's gonna be like Jadakiss and Styles P. They're gonna be like back to back. You know what I'm saying?
That's the answer to
They're
our
gonna be
problems.
fighting. They're gonna be fighting together, tag teaming.
That's that day we're looking forward to. Yeah, we're looking forward to the MOTB, of course,
And they're gonna take down Esau.
the prophecies, but that day, that's the day we're really looking for, because that's literally the last day.
And that's gonna be like a movie.
Right.
It's gonna be like a movie. It's gonna be so ill, teardrops might be coming down my eye.
This is Isaiah 47:1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldean. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstone and grind meal. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg. Uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Ye, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Yeah, because when Yahushua comes back, he's gonna be getting busy. He's gonna go to war with Edom.
No more talking. When he was on, during the time of, was it called? As a Domini, when he was actually walking the earth, that's what he was doing the talking. But now when Yahushua comes back on that chariot, he's not going to be doing no talking.
He's gonna be eager to take down this kingdom.
Yeah,
It's only and it says scripture says it's only gonna take 1 hour to take down America. 1 hour.
Going back to get his vengeance. Not only on Esau Edom, but on his people as well.
Rightfully so, because I be thinking about it, man. Some of our people, they just gotta die. That's the only reclamation.
Because imagine you got this faith, this knowledge, and you kicking it to Jake, right? And they buck up against it. That's like turning your back on Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai to roll with Esau Edom in the system.
Not only that, but when there's a draft and you got Jake that gets the call, let's say they go. I mean, imagine that. Like, you're fighting against your Lord and Savior.
You're right.
It's a lose-lose situation.
Right.
That's why the scriptures say that many are going to have to be beheaded, for the witness of Yahweh. Because, brothers is going to have to be put to death. Brothers is going to be locked up in jail. You know what I'm saying? And we welcome that.
Right. Then you're going to have the ones that's going to be shamefaced, have their head down in the kingdom. Those are going to be the ones that went out to war. When they got that letter, they actually went. They got their ass killed. Now they in the kingdom with their head down.
Yeah, we're going to know who you are. And that's when we got to uplift you. You know what I'm saying? You know you didn't know any better. It's all good now.
Yeah, now. Wipe that look off your face.
Like, you good now.
Oh, is it?
Assuming you do make it though, assuming you are the elect, you know how we always say that's gonna be bragging rights. So you're gonna be like, yeah, I remember them days when we was in America, we was doing bad. You know what I'm saying? We made it through the storm. We made it through the fire.
Isaiah 47 and 4. It says, as for our Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh, power of hosts is his name.
See, they know better than to come over here.
It says, as for our Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh, our power is his. Like it says, as for our Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh, power of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent, and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, but thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms.
The Lady of Kingdoms. I liked how you broke it down the other day, or the other week rather. You were saying how America is just, it's like a horse, it's like a pumping dog. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they at least view this society. Because just think, you got additives within the food that's allowed here, but it's banned other places, other countries. So America is just like a great experiment. It's a place where the elites come to make money. You know what I'm saying? To live good.
It's not about the people. What shows you that, it's like I always say, when America had industry where things was actually made in America, they ended, all the things, closed down all the factories in America and sent them off somewhere where they could get cheap labor, child labor, working them in sweatshops, making astronomical amounts of money rather than paying Americans and citizens a livable wage with benefits where they can sustain themselves. And if the people are doing well, ultimately that means your society is doing well. America sold its citizens down the line for that short money. They was thinking about the now rather than the future, and this is what you have now, what you see here.
And you know why they did that? Because, history always repeats itself. They had insight that, all fiat currency eventually comes to zero. So, with that being the case, you might as well just live it up and go out with the bang. That's what they've done at our expense. But you see how we are as a people, we're righteous. We don't want to capitalize and get rich at the expense of the earth, at the expense of the people. You know what I'm saying? Because you coming through with your capitalist system and the industrialization has led to the the pollution of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Because when you trade quality for convenience, it just ends up being bad at the end of the day. That's when you see your food source start to be less nutritious. You know what I'm saying? That's when you see fabric chemicals in the water. That's when you see disease rates getting higher.
That's the thing, like, sacrificing something.
Microplastics.
Buying
You know, back in the day, plastic, like, there was no plastic bottles, there was no plastic containers for milk. Like, all that stuff used to come in glass.
Cardboard. Now it's like, here we are, buying bottled water. And then now, in order to sell the water, they gotta market it to you because there's so many different kinds of water. Now you have the water that's in the glass. Now you have the water that's in the can. Now you got water that's bottled at the source and all this other shit.
It's like our basic necessities of life have been weaponized against us.
And it's still defiled. It's still defiled.
Whether it be the food we eat, the water we drink, even the woman that we have. So again, it's like, what do y'all want to stay here for? What motivates you? This is what you want? You want to live like this? That's why a lot of people just say, you know what, to hell with it. I'm just going to build another life in another country. I'm going to move to Europe or somewhere. I heard it's pretty nice out there. Portugal? Yeah. It's nice over there. A lot of Americans is crossing over to Europe.
See, I forgot where this woman moved. She was from, I want to say it was California. It was her husband, her family. She was talking about the struggles of her life. Then she moved somewhere in Europe. And she said she just has a better quality of life, her and her family. They having their way over there.
What you doing about that? So you looking at the sign. We tried.
This is Deuteronomy 2:5. I'll read fast. It says, "Meddle not with them, for I will not give you of their land. No, not so much as a foot breadth. Because I have given Mount Seir unto Esau for possession. Ye shall buy meat of them for money, that ye may eat. And ye shall also buy water of them for money, that ye may drink. For the Lord Yahweh thy power hath blessed thee in all works of thy hand. He knoweth thy walking through his great wilderness. These 40 years the Lord Yahweh thy power hath been with thee. Thou hast lacked nothing."
Yeah, because when we was in the wilderness, when we was in that transition phase for 40 years, when we exited Egypt, the Lord, He still looked out for us. Let me get the scripture, just to give you an example.
Fuck out of here, man. We're for almost 65 degrees earlier in the week. Now it's 30 something. It feels like 30 something.
So just to give us an example of how the Lord looked out for us when we was going through our transitional phase when we exited Egypt. This is Exodus 13 and 21. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by the night in a pillar of fire to give them the light to go by day and night. So during the day, the Lord had a chariot over us, a so-called UFO, giving us shade because you in Egypt in the desert, it's hot, and then it's nighttime in the desert. You can't see; it's pitch black. So the Lord gave us some light from the chariot as well. Verse 22. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. And that cloud, again, that's talking about a chariot, UFO. Because how could a cloud literally like emit fire? It's impossible. I've never seen that. So it's poetic.
Isaiah 47, like Isaiah 47:6. It says, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment. One day, the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments.
Yeah, that's what these elites do. They practice witchcraft. And that has been revealed within them files about how what they do with children.
For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said not to see me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted. Thou hast said in thy heart, I am not. That's the pride that Esau has, like with those PDF files. They thought, who's gonna see me? Because they go into their private island where it's like-minded people that do this, that's into the same things they're into. What's gonna come from this?
Little did they know there was cameras being recorded.
Right.
And that's why you got these people within the government really siding with Earth.
It says, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. Here it is, Esau Edom has all the knowledge, has all the finances to find out and figure out whatever he wants to do, wants to learn. And what does he do with it? Bring forth wickedness into the world. He does nothing righteous with the knowledge he has and with his abundance of resources.
The world would be a better place if we was in power.
Right.
That's for sure. Instead, you got these people that are being blackmailed running the world. So, they just gonna be yes man.
It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so, be thou shalt be able to profit. If so, be thou mayest prevail. Listen.
So to hell with this world. Hopefully people don't stop talking about what's going on with the PDF files, because that seems to be making everything escalate and move fast. But have you seen Trump's demeanor lately? Like, he looks drained. He looks like he's scared.
Even like how he be getting questioned and the answer to his questions, it's like he just be saying whatever comes to his head. Like he don't care. It's like he's over it type shit.
He's just saying anything that sounds good.
Right? It's like that's how you know he's getting marching orders from somewhere. As the things he says to rebuttal the questions, it's like it's not a solid answer. It's like he don't even know. He's just saying whatever he has to say or whatever he can think to say. He don't know why it's really going on the way it's going on. He's just an empty suit. He's just the puppet. He's the face.
That shit is so bad what's in the files, man. Like,
Wicked.
if it ever comes out with Trump's name in it, he's gonna have to go to jail.
He don't kill himself.
Oh man. And that's the thing that people are mad about. They're like, yo, with all this information, if that dude that had his private island, if he was a facilitator, who were the clientele? Like,
Right.
you gotta ask yourself that question.
Okay.
And why aren't they being prosecuted?
This is Romans 12 and 19. It says, "Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil. Be not overcome evil with good, but overcome evil with good." And you see, like, we can't take it upon ourselves to take out those people in the files or try and get justice for anybody. That's not our place. That's not our lot. That's not our walk.
What we will do is expose them, bring out information on them, about them.
That's the role of the prophets.
Go on YouTube and type in, such and such files. There's gonna be a new video that just popped up that was made. People are still talking about it.
And it's not going anywhere. That's the thing. Even with the war going on, people still want answer to these things because it's so egregious. And it's like they're trying to sweep it under the rug.
The world is filled with PDFs and warmongers.
And they rule over you.
And what are you gonna do about it?
They make choices for your life. These are the people that's in power. Sorry, we just gotta get the hell up out of here.
That's why politics is for white people. It's not for you, Jake. The system was never meant for you. Want to sit here and wait for the next midterm election? Let's say hypothetically, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. How do you even know you got time to make it to that point? You know what I'm saying? Because that's how some people is talking. Like, yeah, we gotta vote these people out. You people are hopeless. There's just nothing we can say or do to you. That's why I say the only reclamation that's that this place gotta be destroyed. And even our people that are joined on to the system, they gotta go to.
recompense for the controversy of Zion. So I read it now. It says, "For it is the day of the Lord Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch." Like, the world needs a great reset. America just needs to be wiped off the face of the earth. Then the world can start to flourish again. Because America being the place where everybody looks to for their, I'm not going to say inspiration, but, you know, things go down in America first, and then it's just, you know, people of the other world, other countries, they absorb it. This is just a spirit down. And it can't happen soon enough. Here it is, we're in the year 2026. Think about the elder apostles. They probably would have thought the world would have ended way before now.
People would have thought that when Desert Storm happens, that was in like the 90s, right? Or maybe people would have thought that during, 911 when that happened. You know what I'm saying? But that was just a precursor for the elites to infringe on people's rights, bring out more surveillance, have more restrictions. That's how we got to the point where we are today. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to wrap it up. You got something?
Let's just end with wisdom of Solomon. This is Wisdom of Solomon 6:24. It says, "But the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world. A wise king is the upholding of the people. Receive therefore instruction through my words, and it shall do you good." That's what's problem with the world now. The top wicked elites, they don't abide by the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. They don't try and put his law into place and actually practice it. And that's why the world is turned upside down on its head. That's why when he goes down and the people on this side, the Israelites are in power, where Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and his will reigns supreme, the whole world is going to flourish again, because everything, literally everything, is going to be put in its right order. And if you're not with this, the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you get punished.
Read that again?
Say that again?
Read that again?
It's Wisdom of Solomon 6:24. It says, "But the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world."
Yeah, the multitude of the wise, that's us. That's talking about the Israelites. Starting with the elect.
And a wise king is the upholding of the people. Receive therefore instruction through my words, and it shall do you good.
Yep.
Listen.
That's going to be the setup in the kingdom. Like, we're going to have a king, a righteous rulership. Yahweh Shai is going to be king number one. You're going to have the governing body, the elect, 144,000. So we can't wait, man.
Right.
We pray for the kingdom. So with that, we're going to close. Shalom.